In this video, I'm sharing with you 5 more tips for sitting. The first one is about the pelvis. So your pelvis, think about 2 points of your pelvis, or 3 points. First 2 points are the ASIS, the bony points right at the top of your pelvis. So you feel them if you turn your fingers round, and then the bit that sticks out the most, these are your ASIS. Anterior superior iliac spine. So you want these points to be in the same vertical line as your pubic bone, which you find if you slide your hands down towards each other, you get to a point where you feel a little bony part. So you want these 2 points, well 3 points, but if you look sideways it's ASIS and pubic bone. You want them to be on the same vertical line. So if my pubic bone is in front, I'll be tucking and then rounding my lower back. If the opposite is true, my pubic bone is behind, then I'll be arching my back. So you want to find as close as comfortable to a neutral position. So a vertical line between the 2 points. In that position, your muscles, your organs are supported inside the pelvis. So that's number 1. Number 2 is relax belly. So put your hands on your belly and notice if you are holding any tension, and let your belly go inside your hands. So you want to be careful as you let your tummy go that you've not arched your back. So back to tip 1, check that your pelvis is still in a neutral position. So neutral position, and then belly. Let the belly go. Take a few breaths to really let it go. Let it feel your hand. So it's fully relaxed. So if your rib cage is down and your pelvis is aligned just below your rib cage, that's enough to support your belly. You don't need to squeeze, and if you squeeze, you're quite likely to tuck the pelvis. So think of the bones, aligning the bones, and then let the tummy just be where it wants to be. It will contract as needed, so long as you keep your alignment neutral as possible. So tip number 3 now is externally rotating the shoulders. So what I mean by that is quite often we're like this, elbows out. So if you have your elbows out, this rolls your shoulders forward. See that? So you want your elbows to be dropped right below, towards the ground. So in this position, you've come out of internal rotation, back to neutral. So if it was fully external rotation, it would be more like this. But really, we have to externally rotate to be back to neutral, because we tend to be rounded. So drop the elbows down. I just like to think elbows down. I know I'm in a better position for my shoulders to go back to neutral, rather than neutral being here. So see what it feels like to drop the elbows down. It should feel more comfortable, and it should help bring your shoulders down. And if it doesn't, that's something you can be aware of. So either by gently touching your shoulders, or putting one hand and feeling more weight. So whatever works for you. So one hand, and then let your shoulder blade drop down, or a light touch and a breath usually helps. Breath out, and notice it throughout the day whether they tend to creep up. Number 4 now, looking up. So we tend to look down or straight ahead. It's not often we look up, so it's a great one to be aware of, that adding some looking up movement into our day will challenge our muscles differently. So you can just use your eyes to look up. Notice how it feels. It might feel a bit odd at first if you don't do it that often. And you can also use your neck, so lifting your chin like this. So control it. Don't let it, don't let your head just flop back. Just control it. Chin up. Okay, that's that one. And then you can also use your torso a bit more. So rib cage down, chin back, and then you can look up by so dropping the rib cage and tilting back slightly. There, so you might feel the contraction here in the middle, the rectus abdominis. So I'm looking up, but I'm using different muscles. I'm using more core. I can feel it. Rib cage down, chin back. So that's one that's probably the most difficult. I don't know, you try it and see. So let's do it one more time. Just the eyes look up, keeping everything where it was, and then chin up. I lift my chin up to look up, and now chin down, eyes level, but tilting back. So you just tilt back, and then you feel the contraction of your core muscle. It doesn't have to be very far, just a tiny one. Dropping the rib cage, chin back, okay, and back again. Tip number 5 is looking sideways. So you can sit and still move. So you can, sometimes we have to sit down, not often hopefully, but sometimes we have to, and it's good to add various movements like looking to the side. So it's the same thing, look to the side, using your eyes, to the left, to the right, moving nothing else but the eyes. And then moving the whole head to one side and the other. And the last one is the waist. So you want to twist your rib cage over your pelvis. So your pelvis stays stable and your rib cage moves. So you can put your hands on your sternum as your pelvis is down. Sternum moves. You might feel a twist, so that's using your waist muscles. So it's more of a twist. See how far you will go. So you're taking everything with you, well, your whole upper body with you, to look to the side. And of course you can also use your whole body to move, but then there's nothing that moves in between. So you want to try and move the things that don't move so much. And it might vary from person to person. So let's do that again. So if you want to look to the side, you can just use your eyes to look left and look right. Or you can use your whole head to look left and then all the way to the right. Or you can use your torso. And it can help to cross your arms and feel the movement in the waist a bit more. Without forcing, just see where you can go without increasing tension or doing too much of a sharp move. So that was my 5 tips.